Hi, I'm Kesenya. I'm your Astro Weather Girl here with this week's Astro Weather Report. Thanks so much for joining me. If you would like a reading with me, all you need to do is pop to the link below. It'll take you to my readers page at Astrologers. There's a list of services there. I would be delighted to explore your personal chart and see what these energies have to say about your life and what's unfolding for you right now. It is a super busy week in the astrological skies. I mean, it is so busy that this report, usually I break things down by sign. I'll give you like a half-hour introduction telling you this is what's happening, this is why this is happening, this is how you might feel, this might be the result of this energy, and you'll learn a lot of astrology that way. But because there's so much going on this week, it's just busy, I'm actually not going to break it down by sign. What I'm going to share is applicable to everyone, every single sign, moon sign, sun sign, rising sign, whatever you are. These energies I'm going to talk about apply to everybody. And I'm doing this because otherwise, if I broke these energies, and there's about 5 or 6 of them playing out this week, if I broke them down by sign, then we would be here for at least 3 hours and it would drive you all insane, and me too. So stick with me for this one and know that everything I'm talking about will be applying to you, and you can apply it to your personal life. So the first energy is occurring on the 12th of February. And what this is up here, whoops, should be up here. Up here, we have lovely little Mars, and it's been transiting through the sign of Sagittarius for a little while now, and it's going to hit 26 degrees on the 12th of February. What does this mean? What's significant about 26 degrees? Well, it happens to be the degree of the Galactic Centre. 26 degrees is lined up directly with the womb of our Milky Way galaxy, the big black hole at the center of it all. Now, I've talked about this in other videos before, if you've caught this, but I'll just reiterate a couple of key things about the Galactic Centre and what it actually means. As I said, it's the womb of our galaxy, and there's so much symbolism that goes on with that womb of our galaxy. At the center of the Milky Way galaxy is a massive black hole, and what a super black hole like this one does is it sucks in and pulls in everything around it, and scientifically, I'm not going to go into all the great finite detail about what goes on, but basically particles are, the gravitational pull of a black hole is so strong that it squashes and condenses particles and light and energy into essentially dense nothingness, so dense that it almost like a black hole is imploding upon itself. So really, a black hole speaks of intense destruction, but at the same time, a black hole is spewing out new particles, new stardust, new lights, new planets, new whatever. Things are emerging and being spewed out from a black hole at the same time. So it is creating newness as well as destructing, being a destructive force for the things around it. There's lots of great documentaries that you can view about the process of a black hole, or how a black hole works. If you jump on YouTube and have a look, there's heaps of information out there if you're interested in this. But the overall theme astrologically that we're looking at here is one of destruction and birthing and creating. It's one that it's linked, they're the same. Very kind of similar to what we see in the 8th house. And Pluto kind of gives this energy to us astrologically as well. And the sign Scorpio. What do these three have in common? Scorpio, 8th house, and Pluto? They're about transformation. They're about death and rebirth. So they carry this similar tone to it of the cycle of death and rebirth. I mean, we don't have to look very far to see that cycle playing out everywhere, all the time. There is expansion, there is contraction. There is expansion, there is contraction. Look at the seasons. Winter comes, everything dies down. And then things burst into life and bloom to summer. And then autumn comes and things start to contract again. And that's just a continual cyclical process, like a heartbeat pumping blood in, out, cyclical process that's happening in the seasons around us. Our emotional lives can be like this. You know, everything's going wonderfully well and we're on top of the world and the sun is shining and the birds are singing, and then we contract and we have periods of, I just want to be by myself alone because I need to process my heaviness and my sadness, and then we come out of that, and life is this ever continuing process of expansion and contraction on so many levels. Now, here is Mars getting in touch with this very powerful point in the alignment of the horoscope, or the zodiac, with this expansion, contraction, destruction, creation type energy at the center of our very important little galaxy of which we are a part. So it's thought in esoteric practices and esoteric understanding that this black hole is providing us or sending out the energy and emitting the energy, not only particles of dust and what have you, but sending out the energy of divine consciousness. That this center of the galaxy, this womb of the Milky Way, is awakening divine consciousness through the energetic impulses that it releases. Now, this is just what the planet needs right now, is it not? We need an awakening of divine consciousness. So every time we have a planet chuffing across 26 degrees of Sagittarius, the divine consciousness gets it's like light going through a prism. You know, white light goes through a prism, comes out in all rainbow colors. It's being fed to us through the prism of whatever planet happened, and the planet's energies happen to be crossing at 26 degrees. So we had Jupiter do this at the end of last year, and I don't know about you, but I noticed a big shift. You know, lots of blessing flowed into my life. I'm ruled by Jupiter. I'm Pisces rising. And lots of blessing flowed into my life around the time, give or take a few days, maybe a week or two, that Jupiter crossed this point. Now here comes Mars crossing this point as well. So we're going to get a hit of this awakening consciousness from the center of the galaxy that is transmitted to us via, all sounds a bit kooky, doesn't it? But through the lens of Mars now. We've had Jupiter with expansion, abundance, and growth, and his Jupiterian bigness and jovialness. Now it's coming to us through a hit of Mars energy. And as I said, it is what the planet really needs right now, because of course this expansion and contraction and then awakening of divine consciousness is exactly what this conjunction of Pluto and Saturn has been doing for the collective since the conjunction, well, basically for about a year actually, but the conjunction especially in January. The whole design of that is to purge and release what is not serving, to let go of old beliefs, old structures, old hierarchies, old power and control that is no longer helping humanity, and to let go of those things. Now that can be on a large scale, such as reshaping our spiritual beliefs and religious hierarchies and things like that. We see that happening, and governmental structures as well, and the sign of Capricorn also is brought about by that. Capricorn is a feminine sign. We're seeing a lot of attention towards the role of feminine and the ability for the feminine energy to have a sense of equality now, and sort of the overcoming, if you want to call it that, of the patriarchy. There's a lot of momentum around that now. There's a lot of momentum around getting things right, making sure that things are done properly now. So that's a lot of what we're seeing in personal lives and large scale on the planet with Pluto and Saturn conjunction. It's been building all year. It's going to play out all through 2020 as well. So this is a very pivotal time in our history. But this energy of purging, as I said, Pluto correlates to this whole death and rebirth cycle. And this energy of purging that is occurring is going to be felt again. Purging, releasing, and growth and emergence is going to be felt again with this hit of Mars on the 12th. There's going to be, on the 12th of February, an opening of our subconscious minds now to receive more of this divinely centered womb of the universe energy. And of course, as I've just described, this is going to continue this purging theme of Pluto-Saturn, getting rid of old wounds, purging them, releasing the outworn beliefs, the old karmic traumas that are sitting within you as well. And this is a slow process. It's not like ripping off a Band-Aid, boom, there's the Band-Aid gone, ouch, it hurts for a while and on you go. No, this is a deep cleansing, a deep purging. This is why it's taking so long, and why when Saturn is involved, things last for a long time, not just a quick fly-by-night. But then we come to Mars, and I hope I'm not losing you here, but then we come to Mars. Mars is a quick energy. Mars is fast, and it gets things done quick, and it's go, 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 and now, and let's get on with it. That's the energy and the tone of Mars. And crossing the Galactic Centre, all about this destruction and creation, we're going to get a very fast hit now of something to do with our processing of death and rebirth, destruction and creation. Mars is very energizing. Mars is very action-oriented. And when it conjuncts, that means sits at the same point, 26 degrees, as the galactic center, we're going to get an activation. We're going to get an energetic impulse in our lives, in our psyche, in our consciousness, our conscious awareness. We're going to get a punch, not a negative way, but just a hit of this quick Mars energy combined with what the center of the universe represents in its awakening of consciousness. So we can expect that we'll get an activation of truth in our lives. This is happening in the sign of Sagittarius, which is all about the truth. So truth might be revealed to you in your personal life in some way. This might mean suddenly a secret is revealed. Mars rules the sign of Scorpio, which is all about secrets. So a secret suddenly comes to light and is revealed to you. It might mean that some truth on the larger scale of humanity it comes to light. And maybe there might be some sort of I'm not a mundane astrologer, but just hypothetically, there could be a situation where maybe, another of Jeffrey Epstein's particularly deviant connections is brought to light, and that's revealed. So the truth comes out for the collective. Just one example that happened to pop into my mind. So something will be revealed, possibly on the collective level, but certainly in the lives of many individuals, and it'll be revealed suddenly, quickly, and incisively. Mars rules to cut. And so this will cut to the core. The truth will really slice into our lives in some way that's very penetrating, that's very powerful, and that is very revealing. Now, Mars rules young men, so it's possible that this experience, this sort of awakening, this truth revealed, might come to us through a young man. Mars is young men. So we might see some young man making a statement on TV and it just, just really hits us. Or we're listening to some wonderful YouTuber who we just get inspired by, and their words just cut to the core. They reveal to us who we are and the truth comes out. So it's through possibly some kind of young man, or at least a youthful type energy, that reveals this. And whatever happens for you personally, and for all of us, this is going to reveal something about our destiny and will energize us, because Mars is to energize. If you're feeling lackluster, just generally in life, at any time, look to where your Mars is, and it tells you in your astrological chart, Mars's position tells you how you can get more energy, how you can get more enthusiasm, how you can build your drive. Now, we have time, like expansion and contraction, we have times when we're feeling like we just need to sleep all day. Hello, I'm Pisces, that's me. We feel like we need to sleep all day. And then we have times when, look out, world, here I come, occurs in us as well. But this activation at the 26th degree on the 12th is going to cause us to be energized and enthused, interested, keen, amped up about our own spiritual awakening and about the awakening that is occurring on the planet. So what can we expect? We can expect greater understanding. We can expect more personal awareness. We can expect a step forward in our own personal awakening as well. Mars is desire, what we long for, what we hunger for is Mars. And so we might desire at this time, on this day, more soul growth, and we'll seek it, and we'll look for it, and we'll be activated to find it. And we might take steps forward towards our life mission, our true soul heart's desire now, with courage, with boldness, because Mars rules courage, Mars rules boldness, and this activation of our conscious awareness and our own enlightenment really can cause us to be more bold, more courageous, more active about pursuing that which we are called to in this lifetime. Now, it's also really important to recognize as well that 26 degrees is the degree of Taurus. And so there is a very Taurian, Taurus-like energy to this galactic center. What is Taurus? Taurus is stability, groundedness, to be stable. It's solidifying. Taurus is very much connected with the idea of taking the material realm, and when here it is connected with such a spiritual point, the galactic center, we can expect that our spiritual realm and our material realm can merge, and there will be activation of both of these things. The material, third dimensional, earthly reality, the things we can touch, taste, see, hear, and smell, make a combination now with our spiritual life, and we'll be activated by this. This is not the only energy playing out this week that's giving that tone to things as well, I might add. So what this might look like, you often see a lot of really spiritual teachings that are all about renouncing money. And indeed, I'm not a big advocate for materialism at all. It's not my bag, baby. But you'll see a lot of spiritual teachings telling you, or implying that you cannot blend wealth and money with being truly spiritual, that you must be poor to enter the kingdom of God or to the kingdom of heaven or whatever. Now, this is a time, this activation, when we get a hit to the galactic center at the degree of Taurus, where the spiritual and the material do combine, do gel, do support one another. So you can be spiritual and have nice things in your life and pursue worldly success. It's a time when the successes that you pursue, as Mars is very energized towards achieving and accomplishing, fighting for a worthy cause. It's the hero quality. So it's a time when you'll be very heroic and courageous and pursuing and activated towards some type of material success, and there will be a spiritual element towards that is a beautiful melding of the two. So it could be that you're really activated to set up a not-for-profit organization that's going to bless some underprivileged people in the world. Or it could be that you are, through your, let's use Bill Gates as an example. Through his great wealth, what has he done? He's set up some fabulous charities and support groups, and using his money for good. So to me, this speaks of being energized and activated to use our material reality, our material wealth for blessing and to support others. And you might choose to use it to grow your own spiritual work or your own spiritual life in some way. I mean, at a very simple level, it could look, we're not all Bill Gates, are we? More's the pity. But we could use this energy of activation to decide to run a yoga workshop. And you've been toying with this idea for years. I love yoga. I've done all these courses in yoga. I need to step out now. I need to be courageous now and really bring my spiritual perspective on yoga into an actual workshop. So something tangible, something real, something that people can do. It will generate material support for your life. Taurus rules money and material things, and it will support material support for your life. Plus, it's using the energy to bring spirit and spiritual awareness to people through maybe running a yoga workshop, or maybe running an astrology workshop or something, or doing something that melds the ability to have material resources with our spiritual life, our spiritual practice. It could mean that you simply attend a yoga workshop or that you go to some sort of spiritual retreat. That could also be the case. And there you receive this enlightenment and this awakening of consciousness. But the combination of material reality and experience with spiritual reality and experience melds now and becomes one. And we are energized about this because of the Galactic Centre getting an activation from a planet. Now, if you've got a natal planet at 26 degrees of Sagittarius, then this is really active quite a lot in your life ordinarily anyhow. You might feel this on a regular basis, especially if there's, say, like the moon once a month going around here, crosses that point or trines that point. You'll be getting regular hits of this nature in your life if you have a planet there. And of course, it all depends on what planet is there, what it rules in your chart, what it governs for you in a personal way in your own horoscope as to how that might actually be benefiting you or supporting you or guiding you in life. So I'm not going to go into all the possible combinations. Again, we'd be here for hours. But just know that for the collective on the 12th, big potential activation of everything I've just described, and essentially it comes down or boils down to potential for great soul growth on this day. Now, I am just so excited to share with you about Valentine's Day this year because we have another key energy playing out on Valentine's Day. Now, we've just talked about materialism. I am not into it. I don't go buying teddy bears and chocolates and all that sort of thing. One of the practices I used to undertake on Valentine's Day would be to invite somebody, a couple that I know, around for dinner. Particularly older couples who've probably lost the hey, Valentine's Day thing, and just make a special evening, have a nice dinner and make it fancy, a nice dinner party and special. I used to love doing that. I haven't done it for a while, actually, since I've had kids, but it was one of the things I used to love to do for Valentine's Day. My ex-husband was not into celebrating it, and I thought, well, hey, let's make a special day of it nonetheless. But I'm not a big one for going out and spending a fortune on cards and frilly knickers and whatever else you want to throw your money away on Valentine's Day. It's not astrologically significant, Valentine's Day, and there's no, alignment with the heavens that, indicates this is a day for lovers every year. It's not one of those key calendar days in an astrological year. But this year, we are going to have a very significant event to do with Venus, the planet of love, unfolding on Valentine's Day. This does not happen every year. This is quite rare. When I say rare, it's not rare like once every 12 years with Jupiter, but it happens twice annually, roughly. But the fact that it's falling on Valentine's Day is something of a rare occurrence. Now, what's happening is that Venus, where are we here? Where's lovely Venus? Here, Venus is here in Aries. And on Valentine's Day, Venus will be squaring the north node of the moon and the south node of the moon. So when this occurs in a personal chart, if you have a birth chart with a planet making an exact square, we have a very small, what we call orb with this one. There's only 1 or 2 degrees that we would use to define this. It's very pinpointed. When we have a planet squaring the nodes in a birth chart, it's called a skipped step. And in a nutshell, what a skipped step means, the nodes are very karmic. They speak to us of our past and our future, where we've been from, where we're going. And when we have a planet making a square aspect by a very small degree to these points, it tells us about something that we need to learn in this lifetime. A skipped step is exactly that. In a past life, we failed to learn the lessons of that particular planet. In this case, we're looking at Venus. In a past life, we may have failed to learn the lessons of that planet. And so in this life, there is a big emphasis and a big focus on us learning the the lessons of that planet, the wisdom of that planet, and integrating that into our stream of consciousness as a soul. And so, for example, in my chart, Jupiter it squares my notes. And so learning Jupiter lessons, expanding my life, growing my life, learning to not be afraid of abundance and prosperity, to not be miserly, but to be generous and to be larger than life. These are the lessons of Jupiter, are part of what I must integrate in this lifetime because I've neglected them for some reason or another in past lifetimes. So that's just one example. In this chart that's occurring on Valentine's Day, we will be having this skipped step of Venus occur generally for the collective. And let's face it, we all have many lessons to learn in each incarnation, and no exceptions with this one for all of us as well. And there will be things relating to each of the planets that we need to grasp and work through and integrate. In fact, evolutionary astrology teaches that every single planet we are on an evolutionary journey with, in relation to the nature of the planet. So say Venus, planet of love, we're on some sort of evolutionary journey in this lifetime based on the placement in our natal chart of that Venus. We're on an evolutionary journey to understand love, beauty, pleasure, money at a smaller scale than Jupiter. Jupiter is big money, wealth. And so we're here in this lifetime to experience all the planets and the evolutionary journey that our soul is on with each of them. So here on this day, on Valentine's Day, we are all going to get a little mini lesson on integrating the values of Venus. How perfect for Valentine's Day that we are mostly all of us going to, well, when I say all of us, if we choose to, we can experience the things of Venus, whether we're single or whether we're married or whether we've been married for 50 years, whether we just started a new relationship, or whether we're even like my children who are not into, as far as I'm aware, not into looking at relationships at all at this point in their life. It doesn't matter who we are, we will be experiencing in some way or another something to do with the energy of Venus that we need to integrate and incorporate into our lives, and a lesson that we will grow with and step up that evolutionary ladder with. So what are some of the things that Venus rules? Well, I'm going to run through a list here, and they're fascinating, actually. Venus rules so many things that you may not even be aware of. And so for you personally, on Valentine's Day, there might be a triggering through any one of these things, and there's many more. I've just got a list of a few. There's just so many things that the planet Venus is in charge of, and that you might not even be aware is actually a Venusian activation in your life, teaching you small little karmic lesson to integrate in your understanding, in your view, in your progress with Venusian ideals at this time. Admiration is ruled by Venus. Beauty. So if you encounter beauty on Valentine's Day in any way, then there might be a very significant karmic little light bulb moment for you regarding beauty or admiration. Venus rules clothing. Venus rules jewelry. Venus rules makeup and looking attractive, as well as beauty we see. The beauty we display is ruled by Venus, and so henceforth clothing and so forth are associated with that. Venus rules apprenticeships. If you're looking for an apprenticeship at the moment in a trade or whatever, then this is a day when karma might line up for you to learn that lesson of becoming an apprentice or apprenticing to someone, or finding someone who you can be a student of. Essentially that's what an apprentice is. So apprenticeships are ruled by Venus. Architecture is ruled by Venus. If you have a epiphany moment looking at the Taj Mahal, or looking at your local, like in my town, we have the oldest cathedral. Sorry, not the oldest. The newest cathedral in the world is in the town that I live. It was finished in the 1970s. It was begun like 150 years earlier, but it was finished in the 70s, and so it's spectacular. And look at this cathedral, and you might get suddenly like some really powerful movement in your soul and your heart and your worldview through observing this glorious architecture. That can happen. Fruit trees are ruled by Venus. So you might be enjoying fruit, eating a bunch of grapes, and suddenly there is this little bit of enlightenment, a little spark within you that's quite precious over, these bunch of grapes. Gosh, they're good. And, something happens through some sort of fruit tree or fruit vine that's ruled by Venus and the fruit that comes off them. Lollies and chocolates. Venus is sweet, hence fruit, but also lollies, chocolates, ice cream, like stuff that is sweet is Venus. And what do we do on Valentine's Day? We're giving chocolates to our loved ones, or if you were like me, hosting a beautiful dinner party with a lovely dessert for friends who I knew and people, and your kids even. There's going to be some, not necessarily an epiphany, but some sense of learning Venusian, the value of Venusian pleasure through maybe eating something sweet. Comfort is very much in the order of Venus. Comfort and pleasure are in the order of Venus. And so you might be learning about valuing comfort over practicality perhaps on this day in some way. Your complexion, your skin, like not so much your skin, but how the skin appears is ruled by Venus. And your face has a correlation to Venus. So something about your skin, something about your face can give you a little life lesson in the nature of Venus and the understanding and integrating the wisdom of Venus. Venus rules money, banks, it rules loans and, like I said before, jewelry, anything to do with, I'm just checking my list here. Loans and banks and money and gifts as well. So what do we do on Valentine's Day? We give, people that we care about gifts if we want to go down that material road, but maybe there's lessons to be learned about material values, material goods, materialism. You might be having a lesson in that for your soul on this day. Venus rules hairdressers. You might get a haircut, and learn something through that. Or Venus rules lavish surroundings. So going out for a fine dinner, or, maybe, you just buy some sort of beautiful new lamp for your home or something and make your home a bit more sumptuous or something like that. But there's just so many real tangible ways, because Venus is very connected to the tangible world. It rules the sign of Taurus, which I described when I was talking about Mars conjunct the Galactic Centre. So it's got a very vivid, strong connection to material things. And so it's through those things, the experience of the material world, the sensual world, the tactile things, the things we taste and see and touch and hear, very much that we can learn to integrate this general lesson of Venus for us and the value of Venus. It will happen for us in some way on Valentine's Day because of this. Now, Venus rules flowers. Venus rules the environment. Something might happen in the environment that's very significant for us as a collective. Venus rules culture. Venus rules bands. Venus rules music. Venus rules our leisure time, how we spend our leisure time. Venus rules motels, and if you're having an affair, hey, Venus rules affairs too. So love affairs, that sort of enamorment, and you might end up at a motel. Both are ruled by Venus. Music, I've said music. Venus rules mattresses. Hello Valentine's Day. Cha-ching. Venus rules rings, Venus rules marriage. Venus rules getting engaged. There's another thing. Venus Venus rules, just lost my train of thought. Venus rules females. So female friends, female acquaintances, female lovers as well. Venus rules erotica. So this is like, hello, if you want this sort of thing, it's a great day where you're going to learn a lot and grow a lot from that sort of thing. Venus rules, I said perfumes and ointments. Venus rules parties. Venus rules puberty, going through puberty, and my kids are starting to hit that realm, and they're learning a lot, so there could be a significant moment of that in some way through what happens on the 14th. Venus rules the theatre. Venus rules studios, music studios and things like that. So it rules the voice and the throat. So singing, not so much speaking, but using your throat and your voice for beautiful things, like maybe recording a meditation or singing, or going to a studio and being a backup singer for something, or recording a podcast maybe or something. Now, Venus rules vanity as well, and interestingly enough, sometimes we see in a chart when Venus is conjunct Jupiter, two what we call benefic planets, sometimes that energy at its shadow side can manifest as vanity in a person, and a bit narcissistic sometimes, even where the focus is all on the self, because Jupiter, this is just a sideline, Jupiter expands the qualities of Venus, which can be all this good stuff like musical capability and attractiveness and beauty and good looks and so on, but also vanity as well. So that's just interesting. But so vanity, and through issues of vanity on this day, you might learn, sort of the shadow side of Venusian energy that you need to learn a lesson from in some way. Venus, talking of the shadow side, Venus rules venereal diseases. So there could be some heavy lessons of Venusian energy that, you need to sort of tap into and understand in some way. Hopefully not for most of my viewers, but this is what's Venus rules. Now, on the more deep and psychological side of Venus, Venus rules beautiful internal qualities such as chivalry, being a chivalrous person, being affectionate, being an affectionate person. Hello, going for a walk. Being an affectionate person. Venus rules stability and calmness. Venus rules forgiveness. So you might get an opportunity to forgive someone on this day. You might get an opportunity to be affectionate with somebody on this day. You might get the chance to show chivalry, a very lost, beautiful, ancient politeness. Chivalry. Gentility is ruled, and gentleness is ruled by Venus as well. Gratitude is ruled by Venus. So I want to encourage you, instead of, you can go to the material side with this Venusian day, this lesson day of Venus, but also don't fail to integrate the deeper core beautiful qualities of Venus, which is this gentleness, this gratitude. It's also it rules flexibility. So being able to bend like a willow rather than being stiff is also a lesson of Venus on this day. Romance is ruled by Venus. Yes, I mentioned that. Sex is ruled by Venus. Yes, mentioned that as well. Sensuality is a quality of Venus. The ability to feel at home with your body and integrate it into your body and the sensual nature of the human experience. This is all part of Venus. So there's a lot of opportunity to learn and grow on this special day with regard to the qualities of Venus. Now, obviously, these themes are usually strong around Valentine's Day anyway, but there's no astrological reason for it. It's just a day picked by marketers and, people who want to sell goods to really, make a buck. But on this day, Venus is actually going to have an impact because of its square to the nodes. So do be prepared to learn Venusian lessons and embrace and integrate whatever teachings the universe is trying to karmically bring you on this quite a special, profound day. Above all, we're going to get the chance to rethink, to evaluate and change our perspective on love, which is the main big theme of Venus, to change our perspective on beauty, on sensuality, on the material realm. So we can alter our perspective and hopefully help it rise up to a higher level. So stay open. That would be my advice. Open to what the universe is trying to teach you. Look for signs, look for signals, look for synchronicities surrounding this. Take time out for relaxation. Take time out for pondering. It's really important for you to be attuned to your own sensuality if you can, and looking for the message for your higher self on this day so that you can receive the most benefit out of this experience. I am most blessed, and I'm going to be doing a ritual with a person I love very dearly on this day. We had just organized this anyway without realizing the energetic planetary significance of this day. And so it's really a beautiful day, I feel, for doing this ceremony of love that this dear friend of mine and I are going to be conducting with one another. So you might like to look at doing something similar if that's the way you roll. So that is the second energy. Now we're on to energy number 3, and this is happening on the 17th of February. There are some big impacts unfolding on the 17th of February, actually, more than just one energy. And this is the first one. So Mars, he's crossed over the 26th degree, and on the 17th, boom, Mars is moving into the sign of Capricorn. So just to point out what's going on in Capricorn: Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Mars. All of these planets are the biggies, they're the impactful ones. Every year, Venus, Mercury, and the Sun go through Capricorn. And every month, the moon goes through Capricorn. So they're regular visitors to the sign of Capricorn, and we don't tend to really notice their impact quite as strongly because they're quick and they move through it and they're there frequently. But when we have Saturn there, it's once every 30-ish years. When we have Pluto there, it's sort of, once every 240 years. When we have Jupiter, it's once every 12 years. And when we have Mars there, it's once every 2 years. These are the bigger energies. So they're more impactful. We feel them, we notice them, they hit us quite deeply with the themes of Capricorn. And of course, that depends on where Capricorn is in your chart, how that is likely to hit you very personally. And you probably need a reading to really explore all of these energies and what they're doing in Capricorn for you. But Mars is moving here to join this energetic thrust in Capricorn right now. But it's really kind of cool because we've got Mars in exaltation. Mars loves to be in Capricorn. It's like, hey buddy, how you going? Good to be in your house. That's the feeling of Mars in Capricorn. It's like, I'm right at home here. Let me be myself in this place. So very much exalted. Mars in Capricorn is an energy that becomes more self-controlled and becomes more level-headed now. So Mars has been in Sagittarius, and that's a fire planet, Mars in a fire sign. So Mars is very strong in Sagittarius, but it's been an energy, it's beautiful energy, but very vibrant, very on fire. Fire planet and the fire sign, vibrant, alive, sparkling, energized. Now the energy of Mars is going to become much cooler, sort of not so heated, not so sort of thrustful, if you like, or even angry. Your anger cools when it's in Mars, which is good. In Capricorn, which is good. It also becomes when Mars goes into Capricorn, we get a much more direct energy geared towards our success. Capricorn wants to succeed. It wants social status. It wants respectability and authority. Mars now energizes that whole process, and we get a much more structured, well thought out, planned and aligned and directed energy towards our success. So it's an interesting energy and a really beneficial one. I think the world could certainly use Mars in Capricorn right now. We will be more energetic and putting more energy and enthusiasm and drive now into our social status, into our career realm, into achieving in the world. I know certainly for me, my forward plans for this from around this time, I intend, everything being touch wood, everything being as it should be, to do a hell of a lot of work under this influence. Not because of this, I'm not choosing to do because of this influence, it's just how my calendar has worked out. So a lot of work, a lot of focus on career at this time. And we can also be a lot more realistic in our goal setting now with Mars. We're activated, we're energized, and we're thinking clearly, and we're really on the money now with regard to our goal setting. Now, if you happen to be a Capricorn or a Cancer rising person, this is a significant time for you while Mars is here. I'll show you what I mean. If you happen to be, Capricorn rising, this is putting, as you can see, if that's your rising sign, Capricorn is rising, you've got 4 planets and the nodes in your first house, so it's activating the energy of you, your place in the world, how you show up in the world, how you survive, how you thrive. But in Vedic astrology, you are also activating this house, your 7th house of partnership, relationship, culture, business, is all getting and harmony, balance, diplomacy is getting a big hit of energy from all these powerful planets in this sign. Not only that, but if you happen to be Cancer rising, well, all this energy obviously falls in your 7th house. Boom. Relationships, they're getting activated. So for anyone who's Cancer rising or Capricorn rising, you're getting activation of the 7th house and the 1st house for both of you. It is going to be very much a big focus now for the duration of Mars in the sign of Capricorn. When you've got 4 planets and when you have 3 or more, in Vedic astrology, it's a trigger for relationship coming in and for activation of 7th house themes like I just described and 1st house themes. So you can expect that the relational tone of your life is going to alter significantly, grow significantly, shift and change and be restructured and energized now through these planets all being where they are. So if you know that you're a Capricorn or a Cancer rising, this is powerful for you. This doesn't apply to Capricorn or Cancer sun or moon, not at all. We're looking at, because your rising sign is either Capricorn or Cancer, it is the 7th house and the 1st house of your horoscope that's getting activated, okay? So you could if you're single, you could attract in a significant life partner through Mars moving into Capricorn. You could solidify a current relationship. You could get committed about a current relationship, especially if you're a woman. Especially if you're a woman, because Mars in a woman's chart speaks a lot about the masculine energy that she wants to draw into her life. So if you're a woman and you're single, or you're a woman and you're in a relationship, Mars's move into Capricorn is going to direct more energy into masculine connected partnerships. This is if you're heterosexual. Not so long ago, we had Venus, a couple of months ago, Venus was here in Capricorn, and the energy would have been much more for men to meet the woman of their dreams, or meet the partner of their dreams, or start dating or get married or get engaged or whatever, if they were Capricorn or Cancer rising. Now it's women's turn. I'm talking heterosexual relationships here. Now it's women's turn to attract in a partner and draw in solidification of a relationship because of Mars being here. So what can we expect to see and feel with this? Well, we can expect to see an increase in materialism now. And I've talked a lot about materialism through this reading so far. There's a lot of activation in February for materialism, being focused on material things, drawn to combining, like I said earlier, spiritualism with materialism, or not materialism, but material goods and the material, tangible, earthly way of life. There's a great emphasis on that now with Venus as well, squaring the nodes, and now also with this energy that we're looking at, Mars in Capricorn. So expect that this is just going to carry forward. A lot of focus on, the material components of your life. How are you setting yourself up for the future? Are you creating a legacy for yourself, a future for yourself that's solid and strong in the material realm? It's great for productivity to have this energy in Capricorn right now. Shadow side of this can be working too much of a workaholic, becoming too obsessive and too, throwing all your energy and enthusiasm and drive into work and achievement and success at the neglect of other things that are important, like love, like children, like having a bit of fun and relaxing. So be careful of workaholism. But you'll be, producing a lot. Great for productivity, great for getting things done, great for achieving. Go to bed at night and think, man, I did a lot today. Instead of, like I often do, thinking, man, I didn't get anything done today. So it's really good if you want to get things done. And you'll also expect to see a desire within you for long-term relational security as well. Capricorn is very steady. It's likes things solid and grounded, and Mars is the energy of desire. And so you will desire this, like a sexual union or a marital or a relational union of some sort that's for the long term. So you might be someone who has, you're quite independent, you're quite free, you've never really wanted to commit to anyone in the long term, and then along comes this energy with all those planets there, and suddenly you're like, you know what? I don't want to give up my traveling the world kind of lifestyle, but I want connection. I desire some sort of long-term relational security. And then you'll start looking for someone you can travel the world with together instead of by yourself. So there is this desire to connect long-term. Capricorn is very much about the long-term, the long haul, because Mars, exalted in Capricorn, wants to feel desire for the long term with someone. So you can expect that might pop up in your life in some way. Now, men at this time, it's likely that you'll become a bit more serious in some area of life. And also, this actually depends on which house this falls in. So if Capricorn happens to be your 7th house and you're a man, then you might become a lot more serious right now about relationship or about a business partnership that you're undertaking or some sort of trade that you're dealing with. Maybe you might become a bit more serious about your cultural interaction right now or keeping things harmonious in your life. These are 7th house themes. If you're a man, you have Mars, obviously in moving into Capricorn, your 7th house, if you're Cancer rising man, then you get serious about these things right now. If you are a man, then you will look for more respect from other people in your life. You will desire more respectability, more social status, more to be, honored for your achievements and seen to be achieving. So you'll look for that. You'll look for more respect from other people in your life. And you'll also have, with Mars in Capricorn, a need to prove your masculinity in ways that will depend on the house placement of Mars. So you need to know your chart for this. As I said, so many energies this week that I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to have time to go into them at an individual capacity. But if you are a man and you have Mars in Capricorn, and let's say it's your 7th house, then you might need to prove your masculinity in a relationship. You might need to prove your masculinity in a business partnership, or you might need to prove your masculinity culturally to the world and, release some sort of creative endeavor that you have produced that displays, highly strong masculine qualities of courage and heroism and valor. Very Mars heroic energy, and you will want to, if you have this in the 7th house, display this. If you had it in the 11th house, then you might want to display your masculine energy through friendships. Like, come on, boys, let's all go out and let's go hiking this weekend, and let's go and be Bear Grylls in the woods, and join with friends to do masculine things and display masculine energy. If you had Mars in the 5th house and you're a man and it's in Capricorn in the 5th house, then you might want to display your masculinity to a lover Or you might want to connect in a masculine way with your children and come on, let's go-karting together, or let's, I'm trying to think of other masculine endeavors. You might think, I'm going to teach if you had it in the third house, if this was playing out in your third house, you might want to teach your children how to do woodwork, or how to, kick the football, or, other what we deem as masculine energies. Now, I probably should point out here, I am very much open to masculine, feminine energy being very fluid. So I'm talking in general here. Please, if you're a gender fluid person, do not think that I'm discriminating one or another and only men do this and only women do that, because that's not my bag. I'm very much about equality between the sexes and the blending and the melding of masculine archetypes in a feminine body and feminine archetypes in a masculine body. Okay, so this is really, I'm being very, very general here, not trying to create division, not trying to, say blue for boys, pink for girls, because that's not my thing. I hate that. I'm just trying to give some examples of what men's energy, masculine energy might be displaying as on this day. Now, on the converse to that, women who display a lot of feminine energy with Mars in Capricorn, they may tend to notice now in their lives that there are more men who are ambitious, men who are hardworking. They might pick up on the fact that, oh, my father, he's actually, I didn't realize how, really, survivalist he is, how keen he is to achieve. Or, oh, my lover's really suddenly become very determined and very hardworking now and really wants to achieve. So you'll notice that men in your life, and you'll come across men in your life who are driven, who are ambitious, who are hardworking now. As a woman, you'll also probably enjoy the company of men who are more respectful now. That's always very nice, because Capricorn is a respectful energy, and with the Mars there, it makes the masculine in our circle, in our sphere, more respectful generally. If you're a woman and you're living with a guy and he's a real dud and he's bashing you up and you're getting abused, get out. Don't sit there and think, oh, Mars is in Capricorn, now he's going to respect me. No. Use your common sense here. I'm talking very generally. You will be inclined as a woman to now come in contact with and notice more that men in your life are generally more respectful. You might be getting, let's use that example I just gave, which wasn't a very nice one, but you might be getting in a lot of trouble at home with a guy who doesn't respect you, but you'll be at work and you'll suddenly notice there's 3 guys and gosh, they've gone out of their way to get me a coffee this morning and they've asked about something significant in my life, or they've really respected me in some way, and they've shown me a lot of kudos. So you'll notice it. Just don't expect that the same old, if you're a woman and you're in a difficult situation with somebody, is going to change. You'll just enjoy more of respectful men, and men with more social status and more authority being in your sphere, in your circle, than you might do on an ordinary, in an ordinary situation when Mars isn't in Capricorn. Okay? Now, for all of us, man or woman, this energy is playing out until the 31st of March. So this is going to be here for, roughly another couple of months. And so we're going to be seeing this play out for a good deal of time, but it begins on the 17th of Feb. Moving right along now, the second energy that's playing out on the 17th of February is a beautiful sextile that's occurring, and this is happening between 2 of my favorite planets. I mean, they're all my favorite. I love them all, but we've got a sextile happening from Jupiter here right through to Neptune. Actually, Jupiter, to be honest, is not in a very appropriate spot there. He's about halfway through. He's at about, on the 17th, he will be at 17 degrees of Capricorn, making an exact sextile for a couple of days to Neptune at 17 degrees of Pisces. Now, there are going to be 3 hits of this energy throughout 2020. This is the first one, the first time these two are going to connect in this magnificently beneficial way. So this is the first. And this is a pattern. Jupiter sextile Neptune is a pattern that repeats every 4 years, and then every 9 years, and then every 4 years after that, and then every 9 years after that. So we see it not annually, and we see it a lot in our lifetime. But it's not a regular energy like, the sun crossing the Galactic Centre happens every year. It's not an annual regular event. This is something that happens, like I said, every 4 years, every 9 years, every 4 years, every 9 years. So it has a repeating pattern, doesn't happen regularly, but we have all experienced it before. So don't go thinking that because this energy is unfolding, I'm going to describe a lot of really good stuff about this, that, I'm going to, suddenly get some amazing miracle in my life and win Tats Lotto and, find the gold at the end of the rainbow or something, because Jupiter as well. No. You've had this before, so don't expect that it's going to be like over the top. But it is a beautiful holding space energy that the whole planet could really use right now. In fact, this dynamic that will be playing out all year is a real salvation for us all. I mean, we've really got some heavy things happening, a lot of us, with this conjunction, which we've all been talking about for the last year and will continue to be present for the year ahead. And, we'll see this playing out. And I know in January, everyone was like, it looks like World War III's on the cards. And then there's this coronavirus and the bushfires, and it's, oh my God. But this energy is coming along to hold space for humanity right now in the midst of this heaviness of Pluto-Saturn conjunction. So the universe always provides a way out. This energy of Neptune, divine love, miracles, higher angelic realms, and Jupiter, expansion, growth, prosperity, joy, and Dharma is our Jupiter. These energies combining is going to bring greater optimism to the planet and greater kindness now. Wonderful, just what we need. It makes us more idealistic as a human collective, but also individually in your own lives. You will be able to tap into this energy of having an abundant mindset. Now, of course, each individual person is going through their own transits, their own, like I'm having a Pluto square my moon right now, so it's been really interesting. And this is not going to negate my personal transits that I'm experiencing at a personal level, but it will lighten things. And if you're having some really good, supportive, loving, abundant transits, then it's going to even amp that up further. But you'd need to know what's going on, obviously, in your own chart. Idealism, empathy, charity, more intuition now. These are the heightened qualities that these two beautiful planets will bring. Good fortune, these are words that describe this combo. So it's a time where we can actually step back a little bit, put our feet up for a bit. Everything in life will tend to keep growing, and it might feel like, not that it's falling in our lap, this blessing of growth and continuity in that way, but that we've done the work and now the rewards are bubbling, and stewing away. It's like they're happening. We've done we've taken action, and now we're seeing the prosperity rewards, Jupiter, the abundance mindset, the abundance, an optimistic approach to life now. So we can kind of take a breather, kind of take a break with Jupiter sextile Neptune. So it's a time when we can see little mini miracles performed in our life. Let's say we put a video up on YouTube, and we've had, say, 30 people watch it. We're just getting our YouTube channel started, and 30 people have watched my video, and then Jupiter makes this connection, and it's really well supported in my chart, and boom, suddenly I go from 30 people to 300 people who've now subscribed. And so the growth is kind of bubbling along, ticking along. I've done the work, and then it starts happening. just an illustration there. It's excellent for travel because both of these planets are connected with travel. Neptune is overseas, Jupiter is to travel and explore other cultures. So this can happen at this time. It's a great energy towards supporting you traveling or exploring other cultures. So I was down in Melbourne on the weekend, and I was able to, went down this wonderful street with a bazillion different cultural restaurants, Ethiopian restaurant, Thai restaurant, Italian, vegetarian, we had everything. And, was able to immerse myself in these different cultural experiences through food. And that's a very Jupiter-Neptune kind of approach. It doesn't mean you have to actually go overseas. That can be very expensive and too much flying, and, it's not so good for the planet and that sort of thing if you want to get environmental. But this dynamic here says you can experience other cultures right now or meet more people from other cultural backgrounds. It's brilliant for having big dreams, and I'm talking about night dreams and day dreams. So go there, do your biggest dreaming. And I've spoken about this in previous readings before, where our imagination is a manifesting tool. We can get so caught up, like as kids, we daydream all the time, and I was always being told off for looking out the window instead of concentrating on my maths or whatever. We daydream as kids. It comes naturally to us. And as we get older, we're so busy, life's so hectic, and we lose our connection to daydreaming. And we stop paying attention to our night dreams. And indeed, our physiology, our biology, as we get older, can sort of clag up our ability to dream at night and to have daydreams that result in manifestation in our lives. That's a whole other topic. I won't go into that now. There are ways to unclag yourself so that your dream life is more powerful and more blessed, bringing more abundance into your life. Don't really have time to go into that in this video, but do keep posted on other videos. I will probably talk about it at some point in the future. But this energy is going to support you being able to tap back into those big dreams, those aspirations, the daydreams, and having night dreams that are directive, that are karmic, that are cathartic, almost past life type dreams that just release and dissolve. So Neptune is to dissolve. Neptune is connected to past life karma, and Jupiter is like the big events, the big karmic purging that needs to happen through our dreaming, night dreaming, and the big aspirations and miraculous desires and longing for that beautiful unconditional love represented by Neptune as well. The chance to expand that in our lives and grow that in our lives through our visualization, through our imaginative processes, is also amped up right now too. It's a time for creative brilliance. Both of these planets are magnificently creative. Divine inspiration comes from Neptune. Intuition and creative expansion comes from Jupiter. Both very creative. So you might be really switched on creatively right now. And if you work in a creative occupation, oh my God, it's so fantastic. So look forward to this one and just throw yourself into your work. This is a real time actually to channel that Mars in Capricorn workaholism and creative abundance that's coming through with this lovely energy. It's a combo for experiencing, again, spirituality and materialism together. Jupiter is wealth. Jupiter is prosperity and the tangible material plane. And Neptune is divinity, divine inspiration, the other heavenly realms, the unconditional love, the angelic realms is Neptune. And here they're combined together. So again, this big theme this February is about spirituality and money, wealth, prosperity, material reality, making a connection, combining. And I've already talked about that, so I won't go into that too much more. But we will find that this will be very enlightening for us on our spiritual journey and our journey in the material dimension we are in on planet Earth. Now, finally, the one that everybody always talks about, gets worried about, freaks out about, Mercury Retrograde. This is the third energy that is happening for us on the 17th. And this is going to be in effect until March the 10th. Mercury be retrograde over here in the sign of Pisces. And so what does this mean? Well, when we have a retrograde planet, any retrograde planet, it means the energies of that planet aren't going to be displayed externally, for all to see. Now the energies of that planet tend to be more internalized within us. And what is Mercury? Mercury is our thinking processes. It's how we learn. It's how we communicate. We're going to be communicating a lot internally with ourselves, dialoguing with ourselves right now, thinking a lot, pondering a lot, considering a lot now. Instead of, I have a Libra moon, we like to talk and share about our feelings, and Mercury is to talk. And so, ordinarily when Mercury is direct, we might go out and have coffee with a friend and chat and feelings, and this, that, and the other over a cup of coffee. Now we're going to be more likely to have a cup of coffee on our own and ponder and think and journal and wonder and, go within and have that dialogue with ourselves now rather than externally. So it's more deep internalized thinking with Mercury going retrograde, more deep internalized learning processes through this pondering. More processing time is actually going to be required for us to reach a decision, to reach a conclusion. So this is why it's recommended during Mercury retrograde, don't go signing any contracts, because what you need is time to consider and ponder. Your thinking processes are actually not as fast now. You'll ordinarily, when Mercury is direct, you'll look at a contract or a document and it'll be like, oh, yep, tick, tick, tick. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yep, good. No worries. Okay, sign. There you are. Now, because your processes slow down and you ponder and they're more internalized, you might miss something that you need to notice. You might need more time to think about a certain point. So it is really, for that reason alone, it's better to sign contracts outside of Mercury retrograde period if you can manage it, because you don't want to miss something through your slower mental processing, and you don't want to, you're going to need more time to process contractual arrangements and agreements and so forth. Like I said, your thought processes slow down, your reaction times slow down. There's a lot more car accidents around Mercury retrograde, and analysis of feelings slows down as well with this. So all these things become intensified because of the slowing down process of retrograde Mercury. But there are good things about Mercury retrograde, and that's what I want to focus on. Okay, so the key things to avoid, try and avoid signing contracts, try and avoid buying new electrical equipment and technology and that sort of thing until after Mercury is finished being retrograde. Watch out for malfunctioning computers and cameras and phones and all sorts of technical gadgets. They can have a bit of trouble now, so make sure they're all fine. Don't take them in to be repaired right now. Wait till after Mercury's retrograde. So these are the general things that people say, oh, don't do this at Mercury retrograde and watch out for that. Okay, so I'll just repeat what everybody knows. There's just the things to be careful of. But at Mercury retrograde is actually a magnificent time for rejigging ourself. Anything that has the word re in front of it is really what Mercury is all about when he's retrograde. So, a time for rethinking, a time for revisiting old ways, old habits, old processes. I'm going to list a few of these in a minute. But really, it's a time for second thoughts. It's a time for second chances to make something right, to fix something up, to resolve something. So let's have a look. Reconnecting. It's a time for reconnecting with friends, time for reconnecting with relatives. Now, I happen to have a very sad funeral coming up around this time. And it is obviously under less than stellar circumstances, a chance to reconnect with people I haven't seen in some cases for 10 years, reconnect with family that I haven't really had a lot to do with in recent times as well. So there is going to be, for me with Mercury retrograde, a very significant period of reconnection with people. And of course, Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Pisces. Anyone who's got a Pisces rising, this is a very important Mercury retrograde period for you because it's in your first house in whole sign astrology. So I know this Mercury retrograde period is going to be very significant for me. In particular, I can already see that it's here I am scratching my third eye, especially connected with family and friends and people from the past who I haven't seen and had a lot to do with. Again, on that theme, the other word, so reconnecting, resolving conflicts. Mercury retrograding is a great time to resolve conflicts, to revisit your interactions with others and turn over a new leaf, to put the past behind you, to set things straight and just to work towards the future. So resolving conflicts. If you've got conflicts in your life, especially if you're a Pisces rising person with Mercury retrograde there, just know this is a great time to unravel that. Reviewing your choices, reviewing your actions. What have you chosen since Mercury was last retrograde? What have your actions been like over the last year? And do they align with who you really want to be? Do they fit? Now's a time for pondering on that, pondering your choices. Was that the best thing I could have done? Maybe I need to make some changes. So it's reviewing all of our actions, all of our choices, seeing if they're the best fit for where we're at currently in life. Revamping anything and everything. Our wardrobe. So go through your wardrobe now. Chuck out those old worn out knickers. It's something I need to do. All my dirty secrets, all my dirty laundry here. But go through that wardrobe. Get rid of the shoes that don't fit anymore or that are worn to a bare thread. Review your makeup. Review your hair. Is my hair cut okay? Maybe it needs a trim, Now's the time for reviewing that. Review your home, revamping your home. Maybe you need to rearrange your furniture. Maybe you need to restructure the way, the flow of energy is through your home if you're into Feng Shui or something. But now home and the reviewing of home can actually be connected to wherever Virgo and Gemini fall in your chart. So I've got Gemini as my fourth house. So rearranging furniture is something I know I need to do, and I can see it with the timing. It's going to fall around then that I'll really change the furniture around. Or if you've got one of these signs as your seventh house, then you'll be revamping your relationship. If you've got one of these signs, Gemini or Virgo, which Mercury rules, if you've got one of these signs falling as your second house, you will be revamping your finances and your material goods. If you've got Mercury retrograde falling as your 11th house, you might be revamping your friendships, removing toxic people from your life and welcoming in people on your plane, on your level. So the revamping is likely to occur in the realms that are ruled in your personal chart, the houses that are ruled by Gemini and by Virgo. Now, it's also a time for research. So we've got reconnect, resolve, review, revamp, research your future. I'm seeing somebody at the moment in my life who is looking at his future and what he wants to accomplish, what he wants to achieve, and he is doing a lot of research right now before he makes a decision. So he's looking at different courses and different careers and so on. And it is a time for doing that, researching what you want out of your life and how you need to go about doing it. So, and finally, refreshing. So these are the words. You are refreshing your routines, refreshing your living spaces, as I'll do when I rearrange my furniture. You are refreshing your diet, even refreshing your friendship circles. You'll be refreshing your life. Now Virgo energy, which is ruled by Mercury. Virgo has to do with cleaning things out, perfecting things, making things right, taking things from the dirty state to the purified state. It's also about daily life, and it's also about ceremony. So it's in doing these things that we can refresh our lives by cleaning the house, spring cleaning the wardrobe, cleaning out the garage. It's about refreshing our daily routine as well. Maybe you want to start swimming in the mornings, or maybe you want to decide you're going to eat at the vegetarian place down the street instead of the pizza bar now. So, you're refreshing and perfecting your life now. That's what Mercury rules Virgo. Virgo is about perfecting things, bringing ceremony into your life. It might be a big part of things now for you because Mercury rules Virgo, and Virgo is connected to the archetype of the priest and priestess, which is ceremonies and ceremonial practice to perfect life. So this is a time for refreshing everything. So it's a beautiful time. Mercury retrograde is very cathartic, very healing. Nothing to be afraid of and to, run screaming in terror from at all. Watch out for the hiccups. Yes, be careful, be conscious. Try and act with as much presence of mind as you can muster during this time. But know that it's a time for reinvigorating your life, and in many, many levels, in many areas. So you get kind of a fresh start when Mercury turns direct on March the 10th. And on March the 10th, that's when we start to put things into action. So we've researched our future and what we want to accomplish, what we want to achieve. Let's take action. March the 10th, which will be here before we know it. We have redesigned our living room and rearranged our furniture, and March the 10th comes and right, now I'm happy with it. Okay, yeah, that's good. I like it. We're home. We're solid here. So lots of reworking things, and on March the 10th, things solidify and things start to move forward. We can start putting things into action. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so much fun to get back into this. I know I've been away for a couple of weeks, just trying to get my kids started back at school for their school year, and I've really missed doing my videos. So thanks for joining me. It's been so much fun to explore these energies, and thanks for sticking through me through this whole big reading. I always close with a prayer, so I'm going to finish up now with that. Energy of joy, energy of love, energy of spirit, and the material realm. We thank you for the unity and the promise of February, this week in February. Thank you for all that these energies are going to bring us, the enlightenment, the love, the empowerment, the unity of spirit and matter. May we be open to the synchronicities. May we see the energy working in our life. And may we delight at how masterfully and exquisitely the universe has been designed to support us. We are in awe of how magnificent our whole universe is, and we thank you with gratitude. Thank you so much. Once again, I look forward to having another weather report for you next week.